Hey, it is Friday, May 17th. We're halfway through the 5th month of the year, I guess. A little more than half. Barely a little more. And here to talk about some of the things that went on this week. I had some lessons that I was really had been looking forward to doing. One of them was, of course, that. And but I have a lot of other stuff I want to talk about today. I want to talk about beat divisions and some strumming things, some pentatonic scale stuff, some very cool things happening on the forum, and maybe the last hint in case we need it for driving towards the daylight. So, because I think you might have the whole thing. I'm not 100% sure yet. I have to go back and read it more carefully. But anyway, so let's see. Let's start with the new target stuff, and then I'll get into the cool stuff that I want to get to. I think the week started with a sight reading exercise. I hope some people are making progress on learning how to read, and so that was a very simple study by Fernando Sor that is just reading notes in the key of C in first position. So I hope people are enjoying that. And then Resurrected, of course, so I didn't mean last week to scare people into thinking that we're not going to have any more fly on the walls or any more student reviews, because I really had a couple planned for this week anyway. And the review was on Don't Let It Bring You Down, where, as a matter of fact, it's funny, both of these things tie into rhythm and counting carefully, especially like in Don't Let It Bring You Down. And what I addressed in the review there was, when you've got an accent, an early change, you got to make sure that you don't cut that short and leave a beat out of a measure. So important concepts. Then the fly on the wall, we were talking about Stormy Monday. Feeling beat divisions in thirds so that it sounds like for 12/8 time. And so Fred and I were working on that. And I think in that lesson I demonstrated a little bit of splitting beats into just continually to split them in half. But the real key is being able to split them into any number, into thirds as well. And so you can start with a very simple quarter note pattern: 1, 2, 3. Split it in 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And then you can split it in 4 by just going twice that fast. Now you also need to be able to split it into 3s. Recount 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. So anyway, that post that Dermot put up, I believe, was pretty helpful for that. I hope people are kind of getting the hang of that. So anyway, that was our fly lesson with Fred, and that particular lesson turned into a bunch of different things. So I kind of split it up into different parts, and we'll take a look at it over the next few weeks. What else? Oh, and then we had an ear training lesson on James River Blues, Old Crow Medicine Show. So that was a song that Kevin brought to me a long time ago, and I believe there's a fly on the wall, an old fly, with us working on that. And I realized when I listened to it more carefully that I'd steered him wrong in one case. So hopefully you got the little the glitch in that lesson, or figured out that there's a spot in there. Well, I guess I'm going to give it away now, but there's a spot in there where the chords, at one point it seems like they stay the same because an identical melody is sung over a different chord. So anyway, never mind, enough said on that. And then, of course, the shape of My Heart. This song is just killer. Beautiful little chord progression put together by Dominic Miller. What happens next? So I appreciate the fact that a few of you really liked that song. It's really neat. So let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Now on to some things that are happening on the forum. Let's see, let's start with the banner. The banner, it looks like I think Jim weighed in and said, hey, now there's some other people that want to get back on it. So I believe it is not quite on its way back to the mothership here. And so again, we're getting close to last call for the banner. But who knows? We might have to start a second one, as somebody else suggested last week. So let's see. We'll get to the driving thing last. Bart. Unbelievable, buddy. That was one of the coolest things I have seen in a long time. I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about, but our member Family Man in Arizona posted a fairly personal thing, a song he'd written for a friend's daughter's 18th birthday. And it just shows, as some of the comments on the forum posted, some really serious skills and creativity. So it was brought a tear to my eye, man. That was really neat. So I hope everybody's had a chance to check out Bart's 18th birthday present for a young lady, Amanda. So just really neat. And let's see. I think that's about it, except for, okay, question that came up on the forum about pentatonic scales and their modes, and or how they relate to modes. There are a lot of different ways you can look at this, but if we stick with the fixed pentatonic scale, the one that's derived from the major scale, but when we play leads we look at it in 5 different patterns that are all the same notes but just have different starting points, which is essentially what modes are. So if you think of pattern 1 as the Ionian mode, let's do it in A, I guess, and pattern 6, oops, there we go, don't talk and play at the same time, and pattern 6, which would start on F sharp in that case, moving into pattern 1 sometimes, anyway. Pattern 6 you could consider the Aeolian one because it starts on note 6, which is how the Aeolian mode works. Well, a good place to start is to just think of the other 3 patterns, patterns 2, 3, and 5, as tied to the mode that starts on each of those 5 notes, or those 3 notes, those remaining 3 notes. So pattern 2 starts on note 2, and we would then tie that, or think of that, as the Dorian mode. So if somebody said, hey, I want to play a song in the Dorian mode in the key of B, you would take pattern 2 and put it on B, and all the rest of them fall together. So Dorian in B would be relative to major in A and minor in F sharp. So each of those can be tied. Pattern 3 would be tied to mode 3, the E mode, the Phrygian mode, and 5 would be tied to the Mixolydian mode. So I may have to get into that a little bit more on the forum or something, or other people can kind of like weigh in with what you're hearing about that. But okay, last thing for today, and then gotta get on to new lesson creation. Not sure if that's going to happen just yet or not, or this. I know I've been teasing you with that one for a while too, so who knows? Got a long list of things to do, and I'm trying to stick to, or not stick to, but trying to, you know, I think those are all on the recommended lesson list. Doesn't matter. So let's see. Last clue on driving towards the daylight. In that little solo, there's a chord. There were a couple chords up the neck, and one of them is just a partial version of a standard form of a bar chord. And it's the first time in the song, after you hear that little run, it's the first time in the song, it's the only time you hear that chord. So, but it's a chord that you would commonly use in the key of E, even though this one is more hovering in E minor there. So, see if you guys, you may have, again, already have it, but I'm not sure if that's even a useful clue or not. So, let's see. I think that is it. Maybe gotta do some more Pink Floyd tunes too. Okay, I'm gonna get back to work and try to have some really neat things happening for you next week. But we'll stick. Don't worry, we got reviews and flies every once in a while because I know people really do get some stuff out of them. And there have been some pretty cool uploads lately, by the way, too. So keep them coming. There's right now, I'm closing in on just about having done most of the ones that I want to do right now, but would like to see some more. So, okay, see you next week.